Confident is this team right now?
Coming in hot. Wow. Opening the door.
Caitlin Clark is making waves in the WNBA like no rookie before her, shattering records and redefining the game. Yet, amidst her rise, a troubling trend is emerging on the court. In her latest game against the Chicago Sky, Clark not only set a personal WNBA record with 31 points, but also became the target of a dangerous shove during a transition play. Unfortunately, this isn't an isolated incident. Subscribe to the channel because what we're about to uncover about Caitlin Clark's treatment in the WNBA will shock you and raise serious concerns about the league's future. Clark's success appears to be putting her safety at risk. The game between the Fever and the Chicago Sky should have been a showcase of Clark's exceptional talent, and it largely was. She dominated, scoring 31 points and recording 12 assists, marking her best performance yet. Her display reaffirmed her status as the frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. However, behind this stellar performance lies a disturbing pattern. Late in the game, with the Fever's victory all but assured, Clark was subjected to an unnecessary and potentially dangerous shove during a transition play. This incident isn't the first of its kind. Reflect back to the recent game against the Connecticut Sun, where Clark was similarly pushed during a play. Experiencing such aggressive behavior twice in a short span isn't mere coincidence. It's a troubling pattern. What's more alarming is that these shoves are happening when Clark is vulnerable, often at high speed, increasing the risk of serious injury. Let's put this into perspective. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's dominating the league with impressive averages in points and assists. Her achievements are on par with, if not surpassing, those of seasoned veterans. The way she's being targeted raises significant questions about the league's treatment of its brightest stars and the potential risks they face.
Here for the Fever, good ball movement on this possession. Logo shot! Logo make for Clark!
She's playing at a level that forces opposing teams to completely change their defensive strategies. But here's the crucial point. This dominance is provoking a negative reaction. Opposing teams, frustrated with their inability to stop Clark within the rules of the game, are resorting to more physical and potentially dangerous tactics. It's important to note that basketball is a contact sport, and physical plays are part of the game. However, there's a fine line between physical play and dangerous play, and Clark is experiencing more of the latter, especially in vulnerable moments like fast breaks. We have to ask ourselves, if it were an established veteran experiencing this kind of treatment, what would the league's reaction be? Do the WNBA's established stars face the same level of physical contact that Clark is experiencing? Let's take a closer look at the impact these dangerous plays can have, not just on Caitlin Clark, but on the league as a whole. First, there's the obvious risk of injury. Clark is an incredible athlete, but nobody is invincible. A shove at the wrong moment, at high speed, can result in a serious fall. A severe injury would not only harm Clark's promising career, but also deprive fans and the league of an extraordinary talent. Second, there's the psychological aspect. So far, Clark seems unfazed, continuing to dominate the courts, but how long until she starts to hesitate in fast breaks? How long until that subconscious fear affects her game? Third, we have to consider the precedent being set. If these tactics against Clark are tolerated, what message does that send to the rest of the league? Are we saying it's acceptable to resort to dangerous plays when you can't stop a talented player? Last but not least, there's the impact on the league's image. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth, with Clark being one of the main reasons for it. Indiana Fever games are selling out and media coverage is increasing. But what kind of spectacle are we offering if we allow one of our rising stars to be the target of potentially harmful plays? The WNBA has a unique opportunity here. Protecting Clark and other players in similar situations isn't just about safety. It's about preserving the bright future the league has ahead. It's important to recognize that not all physical contact is intentional. Basketball is an intense and fast-paced sport, and sometimes plays that look dangerous are just a result of the speed and intensity of the game. However, distinguishing between legitimate physical play and dangerous tactics is crucial. The league must ensure that referees are vigilant and players are held accountable for actions that cross the line. This will not only protect players, but also maintain the integrity and competitiveness of the game. However, the pattern we're seeing with Clark raises red flags, and most worryingly, the league remains silent on this. No official statement, no announced investigation, no public warning to teams. This silence is deafening and concerning. Let's compare this to other professional leagues. In the NBA, for example, dangerous plays often result in suspensions, and the league doesn't hesitate to protect its stars. Why does the WNBA seem to be hesitating? Maybe it's time for fans to raise their voices. Social media is full of videos of these incidents, with fans expressing their concern and outrage. But so far, this hasn't translated into action from the league. Of course, there's an argument to be made that Clark needs to toughen up and adapt to the WNBA's physical game. But there's a big difference between legitimate physical play and potentially dangerous tactics. What we're seeing goes beyond normal physical play. It's a pattern of behavior that seems to have Clark as a specific target. Now let's look to the future and consider possible solutions to this growing problem. First, the league needs to publicly acknowledge the situation. An official statement addressing these concerns would be a good start. This would show that the league is aware and takes the safety of its players seriously. Next, a review of current rules may be necessary. Perhaps it's time to introduce more severe penalties for dangerous plays, especially those that occur away from the ball. Heavier fines and longer suspensions could serve as a strong deterrent. Additionally, the WNBA could implement a system for monitoring and reviewing physical play, similar to the NBA's flagrant foul system. This could help ensure consistency in officiating and accountability for dangerous behavior. Education and awareness programs for players and coaches about the importance of player safety and the consequences of dangerous plays could also be beneficial. Ultimately, protecting players like Caitlin Clark isn't just about preventing injuries, it's about preserving the integrity and future of the league. By taking decisive action, the WNBA can set a positive example and maintain a safe, competitive environment for all its players. Referees also have a crucial role to play. They need to be more alert to this type of behavior and willing to make tough calls when necessary. Perhaps it's time for a refresher for officials with a specific focus on identifying and penalizing potentially dangerous plays. Finally, the players themselves need to speak out. If respected veterans of the league spoke out against these tactics, it could have a significant impact. After all, peer respect is often the most powerful. As for Caitlin Clark, she continues to play her game seemingly undisturbed. Her resilience is admirable, but it shouldn't be necessary. A talented rookie shouldn't have to survive her first season. She should be able to shine without fear of these aggressive fouls. The situation we're seeing with Caitlin Clark isn't just about one player. It's a reflection of something bigger, something that could define the future of the WNBA. Think about it. What happens if nothing is done if the league continues to remain silent? And if opposing teams continue to use increasingly aggressive tactics? First, we run the real risk of seeing Clark or another rising star suffer a serious injury. This wouldn't just be a personal tragedy, but a devastating blow to the league as a whole. Second, what kind of example are we setting for young athletes who dream of playing in the WNBA? Are we telling them that if they're too good, if they stand out too much, they'll be targets of dirty play? Third, how does this affect the league's image? A league that doesn't protect its stars and that allows talent to be stifled by physical intimidation isn't a league that will attract the best talents or the biggest sponsors. And perhaps most worryingly, what if Clark decides it's not worth it? What if other talented players opt for international leagues where they might feel their safety is taken more seriously? It's time for the WNBA to take action. The league needs to protect its players, preserve the integrity of the game, and ensure a safe environment where talents like Caitlin Clark can flourish. If not, the future of the league and the safety of its players are at serious risk. The WNBA is at a crossroads. The path it chooses now will have repercussions for years to come. Will we see a league that embraces and protects extraordinary talent, allowing players like Clark to elevate the sport to new heights, or will we see a league that allows fear and intimidation to dictate the rules?